Good morning, welcome to Faith Without Religion. This is Frank in Williamsburg, and today we are at entry number 166, which is titled Grafted into Israel. The sands of time are running out for my people that are hard of hearing, says God. The writing is once again on the wall. My chosen children must return to the land while they can. There will be times of much persecution and of difficulty for my children abiding in the lands of the enemy. Gentile believers are missing the frame around the picture. Israel is that frame, and without it, the picture is both distorted and incomplete. They will never understand the kingdom without the frame. My chosen ones need the frame to understand the true perspective of Israel. How can a nation prosper if they do not understand themselves? The natural tree requires the grafted-in wild branches to produce the choicest fruit. The two components have a cellular dependency on each other, says God. The integration of the two frequencies produces a divine resonance of supernatural power, which destroys principalities and powers, and combined with my spirit is an unstoppable force, preparing the ground for the return of the Mashiach. The picture and the frame have to be complete, and everything you do has to have that perspective, or it is a meaningless work of the flesh. Well, you may have already realized that there is no doubt that Israel as a nation, as a physical, literal nation, plays a significant part in what's going on in the world at any given time. I mean, when you look at the map, and there's this tiny little nation that seems to be right in the middle, and yet invariably the eyes of the world are focused on what is going on there, because whatever's happening in Israel or is about to happen in Israel is usually a precursor to something that's going to be happening in the rest of the world. It has major significance. Further to that, though, is that spiritual Israel, of which you as a believer are part of, is even more significant. Because we are those wild branches that have been grafted into the tree. It's not the other way around. That's exactly how it works, because Israel and its roots are the roots of our faith. And we have to be part of that tree. And as it says, in horticulture, when they very often graft in these super-producing limbs from one tree to another. So that's what happens here. A lot of error-based teaching, I guess you could call it, that I heard over the years, tries to suggest that the Christians replaced the Jews, the Israelites, because of what happened and how the Israelites fell short, and the Jews definitely fell short in a number of respects. And now they've been replaced by the Christians. No, they haven't. They're God's chosen people for all time. That will never change. What is changing is, as believers, we are grafted into that tree. So we're all one. We're all one and the same. It's just that not everybody realizes it yet. But there's times, the time is now, when the realization is dawning across the world. It's a fabulous organization I can refer you to, and it's called One, O-N-E, for Israel. One for Israel. And you can find them I think I found them on YouTube, or my wife Yanni did. But there you will see probably hundreds now, maybe even more, of videos of individuals from all walks of life, but that were all born into staunchly, mainly Orthodox Jewish families. And these are folks that have come to know the Messiah and are now believers in him. And it's just astonishing how it happens. And it could only happen at this time in history on the scale of which it's happening now. Because now, for the first time ever, the people of Israel have access to information that in previous generations would never have been shared with them and would never have been available to them, because they were cocooned in their family relationships that would protect them from these truths. But now, with the advent of the internet, which we know brings a lot of garbage and evil into the world, but there's also a lot of good that can be done through it. And this is one of those things where they've had access to study materials that they can look at in private without anybody knowing. And the amount of them, once they understand who the Messiah is and what he did, and how they can see pictures of him in their own Torah scrolls, it becomes evident that this is that man. This is Jesus Christ, the Messiah that came to save us. And it just transforms them. It's just a beautiful thing to see. So if you get the opportunity, go and look at One for Israel. Well, one thing I can tell you, that as believers, we deserve to have a heart for Israel. We absolutely have to have that, because it's going to be such an important part of the future, and the millennium and the millennial kingdom. They're all intertwined together in an inextricable way, and Israel is a pivotal part of that. And if you want to be among the chosen, the called, the chosen, the faithful, you have to be part of that. So what does this mean? You've got to start joining a synagogue or something? No, you just have to understand the roots of your faith. It goes all the way back to the same line that produced Jesus Christ, the line of Jesse, the line of King David. That's why they call him the son of David. Of course, he wasn't literally his son, but he comes from that bloodline that God had prophesied would produce the Messiah. And he was what we call a Jew, because he was from the tribe of Judah. But remember, there's all those other tribes that are also Israelites that were scattered to the four corners of the earth, and many of them still are, and many of them still don't know the truth. And what you're going to see over the coming years, should the Lord's return be delayed, is more and more of them are going to be returning to their homeland to fulfill the prophecies. Very exciting. All right, we'll do some study on that. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and we'll see you back here again at the same time tomorrow. Bye for now.